So this is the scene in this back bit by the terrace where there will be a sheep shearing this evening. You see her look. Oh my God, no. Mark's removed the fence that was protecting my almond tree, which is leaning, and the olive tree. I can't remember what else it was around. It might have been around the apple tree on the right. Removed the fence and put it over against the fence that collapsed and had already started to collapse before the cherry tree was felled on it. So he's put the fence there, and my intention today is when we get home from art, don't listen, close your ears, is to trap that sheep in here. Now I did this last year, trapped her in here, and was really pleased with myself, was very smug. And then when Ludo arrived, I came out and found she'd escaped over the fence that had already begun to break down. We're waiting for him to come and put a new fence up, but that's not happening. So yeah, there's going to be a shearing, and I think what I'll do is I'll record it on time lapse, on hyperlapse. I've recorded it before, but it's a bit of a on hyperlapse it's quite interesting, I think. So what she's been doing this morning, before Mark put a piece of green fencing around the almond tree, I was up in the bathroom getting up and discovered her pulling on it, eating a branch off it, and she's eaten bark off it, so it's got two choices now. It's really irritating. I'm not worried about the olive tree because I think that's more robust now. It's a more mature tree, but the almond sort of seems quite vulnerable. And you can see that I need to push that tomato support in again and try and support it properly because it's leaning again. But hopefully, because if it's leaning, she can reach up to that branch, and I don't want her to do that. So I noticed that he's just standing watching the cockerel. He's just standing watching them do their thing. There's lots for them to eat because the grass has gone to seed. You can probably see there's sort of like a haze over it where it's gone to seed, so they're just eating all the seeds. Very quiet. Mrs. Expat was up here earlier and Mark held her for a bit. He says she's still light. I mean, she might have gone off to lay an egg. She seems better again. It's odd, you know, she had a few days of looking a bit off, but now she seems better. She's very, very friendly. You know, every time we're around, she's here to be picked up or stroked. We're supposed to have had rain. We haven't. It's beautiful out here. You all right, Mr. Cockerel? No? Oh, all right then. You sure? It was a beautiful sunrise out here this morning. I came out I was going to take a photo of it, but it just wasn't, it doesn't come out well sometimes on the phone. But next door has got a cockerel that can't crow. Such a funny noise. Such a funny noise. It's really strange having the house back to ourselves for the first time in weeks. Very peaceful. And I know Ludo's coming later, but that's not quite the same thing. You know, he's in and out in 40 minutes and he's just here and shears her and then he's gone. He's not coming into the house. And it's weird sitting indoors, you know, on my laptop, on my Mac or whatever, on my tablet, not having to pay attention or talk to someone or offer coffee or pay, you know, see what's going on. There's just nobody. It's just quiet. It's just Mark and I in our quiet space, and it's lovely. I have started my packing process in that the washing that Mark folded and took upstairs yesterday has now gone onto the bed, next to my suitcase. So I've started. I'm sure there's other stuff in a suitcase that I didn't want to forget. I think I've got a swimsuit in there and a couple of things to wear around my head, like a hat that aren't a hat, but they just go like a band thing, woolen band thing to go around my head. The temperature I looked at yesterday, the temperature in Toronto yesterday was about 30. No, it wasn't. I think in Toronto it was 20. What was it yesterday? It was actually sort of quite high for Toronto, but we're looking at sort of 13 when we get there, which is a good 10 degrees lower than it is here. And it looks like it's going to be wet. So 13 and wet's not very comfortable. Well, it's fine, but it's not, compared to what we're doing now. I'm down to one layer and no socks and, very comfortable. Just a couple of hours at night indoors when it's not as warm, but otherwise it's warm. So yeah, it's going to be quite a contrast. And then we're later on we're going to be driving back through the Rockies down the ice field. Is it called the ice field pathway, highway, something way? And we're going to need warm clothes for that because you're right next to glaciers, which is going to be amazing. Oh, the other thing I've got now is I can sit and watch telly, which I haven't done for weeks and weeks. And he started recording the Something Across the World, and they were in Canada, and we watched the first episode together in that very cold hallway. He wasn't really bothered about seeing the rest of it, so I sat and watched episode 2 last night. And even though they're not where we're going to be, it was really lovely seeing, all the snow and the mountains and the lakes and the glaciers. So I shall sit a bit lovely to be able to sit and watch telly on the sofa. So it's all becoming quite normal again. It felt really odd for how long have we had the furniture back now? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So this is just about day 3. And it's all coming back to normal. I haven't really sorted the larder out, but there's no point. I'm not going to be here. And the house sitters can find what they want in there if they're going to look in there. And it doesn't matter to them what order it's in because it's not their order. Spices and herbs and spices are not in alphabetical order, which is not going to bother me at the moment, but it is useful to have it in alphabetical order when you're cooking so that you know where you're going for what you're looking instead of having to look at everything. But again, that can wait. Are you going to crow in a minute? You haven't got gapeworm, have you? Huh? I'm going to have to give you some Diatom later just in case. You okay? You're very quiet, aren't you? And watchful. Being on guard. Now, I'm going to have to give you some Diatom. He does that sometimes, although I think actually he's just regurgitated something rather than... Got hiccups now. I can see him hicking. So yeah, so after this video you're going to get Ida being sheared, and you need to keep your fingers crossed that I've managed to trap her in here and she's not managed to find a way out. I think we're going to be okay. It looks secure, but you never know whether it's secure until after the event. So it's local election day in the UK. That'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I've lost all faith and hope that people will do something a bit different. I've lost all hope that people will make decisions that are probably better for the country. That they've got everything in there, all of the proof they need that they're being governed by a government that are just bleeding them dry, and they carry on voting for them. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. And then, oh, there was something else. What is it? Oh, yeah, the voter ID thing. I'm going to be so interested to see what's going on there. I think that, so many voters are going to be disenfranchised because they don't have the correct ID or the voter ID. And I even saw a Tory leaflet saying, you don't need to do this, do that. You don't need this ID on their leaflet. So, yeah, going to be interesting. Anyway, not going to do that. This is about the chickens and the upcoming shearing and the beautiful day. So may the 4th be with you.